Okay, my friends, I'm a little sick today. You know, it is what it is, as they say. But I'm always happy to do this lovely show every Wednesday. And let's get into it. So, we have a standard amount of our under 1,000 crew. Getting about, it seems like we're actually getting more these days of the over 1,000. So we'll do that tomorrow. In any case, I like to have the time and the luxury to go through the games and not feel stressed about it. That's why I divided this into 2 shows. A Butch in the chat saying might be in this one. We'll see. Yeah. So here's corgis now. Corgi is a dog, or it might be a fashion. I don't know. We're going to see. In any case, let's check out corgis here. So nice progress. Undisciplined. Trust the program. That's right. So very nice progress. That's what we like to see. And what do we got here? What's going on? So, boom. We'll go back one to see how they did it. Pretty good work, as we see. Hit the activity bar. Also go back. They did 43 hours of work, my friend, to get there. So no chump business over here. Also, I have a feeling we're going to get some games. So close this bad boy out. Okay. So bows. Come back. These are the what is happening? There we go. These are the tactics that they did. We're updating our tactics now. It's pretty impressive. I think so anyways. Every day we're changing the dojo, but we're hoping in about a week for us to go live with 3.0. Okay, I usually kick clubs first. Here we got some clubs. Okay, good. 142 members. Holy moly. All right, here's a game. Fantastic. And here we go. So far, GM level play. Fine. Bishop d2. White blunders knight d4 by blocking queen d1. I only realize and take on move 10. Fantastic. Oh, and I want to say a couple things about this. Your progress up all the way up until 1,000, okay, that's a distance away, will be simply finding the stuff to take. That's it. Now, the other thing I want to say is your next move, what I want you to see about it is you made it very quickly, and so let's call that the main reason that you didn't see the knight hanging. Your opponent also, you can see, is moving epically fast as well. Here we go, right? Neither side really is using their business. You are doing better than your opponent. The next thing I want you to see is that this is not a developing move, okay? So our default moves, let's say the knight was not hanging, should be castles, d6, or d5. Those are the moves, nothing else, okay? Here we go. a5, poor move, again hanging the knight. They kind of sort of figure it out, boom, boom. They obviously should not be bringing their king out. By the way, with this knight cb5, yes, they're finally not losing the knight, but more importantly, they're not developing their pieces. It's not more importantly. I'm just wanting you to see that they're not going to develop their stuff, and that's how we can win a lot of games. Good move. And then, bam, we got it. Take that. Fine. Fine. It's totally fine what you did. Fine. We could just take it, Bows. Take it and say, check to the miserable king. But okay. 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 Good. Fine. Okay. This move, you're doing great, but I'd rather not give him the coconut. Okay? So, again, at this level, the thing I want you to see is that we don't want you to give away stuff. So for example, this move is actually fine, but you would need to see that here we have this dirty trick. It's important to see it, and that's a little bit next level for where you are right now. See, the point is if he goes here, we'll win the queen that way, discover check, and if he goes here, he cuts the communication to his big old coconut, right? But I have a feeling neither player saw that, right? For example, you played h6 here. Moves like d5 or something would be appropriate. Check, good. And now we got rook g4 check, please. Ooh. Ooh, it's still crushing. Still total body blow for what you did. So, great, great. One of the things I want to stress that I really like is it might seem banal to talk about, oh, I missed the piece, but that is what your game annotation should, at this point in your chess, that's what they should be focused on. And today I'm not going to forget to hit mark reviewed here. Okay, good. Let's go to the next one. And we have Adria. And Adria, I remember because they have already graduated once. Yeah, and I remember last time I was here, what did that mean? I think someone tried to tell me what that meant, but I didn't know what it meant, dude. Beautiful progress, as you can see. Clubs. No clubs. Activity. And we're going to go back one. Oh, so they jumped. This thing is saying that they jumped. Well, that doesn't make sense to me. Because they graduated twice. So 0, 300, and then 3 to 4. So anyways, there should be another one in there. Let's just, yeah, they don't have any of their activity going down here. But here's the activity. What's wrong here? What's wrong? No, there's something. So here's where they did all their activity. Okay. Wait, let me just see here. It's confusing because it should say something here, especially, anyways. Looks good. Yeah, a lot of work. Games. Let's look at the most recent one. Uh-oh, that's no good. This might have been the case last time too. Uh-oh, that's no good. So, Adria, that is not an annotation, my friend. So, okay, here, let me just stress. When people start annotating their games, they can often just be like, oh, I have no idea where to start. Okay, so let me help you out. So we could say d3, a little funky because you're blocking the bishop on f1, right? But okay. Okay. A little weird, right? Okay. And now we could ask, is that winning a coconut or not? Weird, right? We say, to that move, we should at least have something that says weird. Because he's pinning, he's blocked the pin, and then now he's doing this, and that blocks the d-pawn, so then this bro can't get out. So those are the kinds of things that you can be talking about in your annotations, okay? And just by talking about it, it's going to help you because your opponents will do weird stuff like bishop d6, and then you're like, right. That was a clear loss of time, and it doesn't help this pin. And then how can I maybe take advantage of it, right? Okay, for example, in this position, you play this, which is just a cheap threat, forcing him to go back. Well, he should be going back anyway, right? So possible moves here would be here, or if you really wanted to get violent, maybe g4, g5. To go for it, you know? I would be going for it. And that might be the punishment that they deserve. Okay, so congratulations. And next up we have Stuba, and Stuba has graduated 3 times. Says already had enough rating from games played in the 0 to 300 cohort. Completed the following tasks from 4 to 5 before graduating. How to make 600. Okay, that was a video I did at the very beginning of the dojo. Model annotated games. Nice. Okay, good. Polgar mates in 1. Nice. Puzzle rush 5 minutes. Puzzle survival. Everyone's first chess workbook. Right. Games to memorize. Okay. Really good. Really good. And that helps me because then I don't have to look at Stuba's activity. I already know what he did. All right, here we go. So, go over here. Beautiful rating graph. Oh my gosh. So 4 graduations, Finland. Okay. So now this is the thing. He says he estimates the playing strength to be around 1,200. In general, you're probably around whatever, as long as you've played enough games, you'll be around that level. Here's the Finnish one. Probably looks like he has a provisional rating. Okay. All right. So let's go. Clubs, European. We need a Finnish dojo, Stuba. That's what I want to see. I want to see a Finnish dojo. Games. And okay, good work, first of all. And then this was submitted just today. Okay, right. So, yeah, this is a mistake when you're coming up the ladder. You're just going to face it a bunch. So, bam, FE5. Now, one crazy thing about this is my memory is that if they play D5 here, it's actually kind of complicated. Yeah, but black is still suffering. It's very, I shouldn't even bring it up here, but it's very anti-intuitive to me that they would be able to play on here. Yeah, okay. Queen F5, check to the miserable king, H4, D5, HG, good move. All right. Oh, here, and apparently there's this move, Queen F7, or Bishop G5. But the problem, okay, here's the problem, Bishop G5 that I don't understand. You take his queen, and he takes yours. He's still going to be up a piece, right? And then let's look at Queen F7, what you're saying. Because maybe Queen F7, that looks like a hell of a drug right there. Yeah. Okay, that is a good move. I still really think you're crushing him here, though. Check. Well, it's just hard to argue with this one, right? That one's hard to argue with. Now, let me just stress something. So what he's saying is we have a game. So we have these model games, depending on where you are. And one of them involved a trick like this, F6, very common. So he knew about it. Boom. Employed it in the game. Great analysis. So that's well done, Stuba. I like to see the cohort action, the cohort material in action over the board. Okay. So, Santosh Raj asks, oh, now what are they doing? Well, Santosh Raj, we are going over training program graduates who have gone in the under 1,000 level up 100 points. So you see Stuba was in this cohort, the 4 to 500, and is now in the 5 to 600 cohort. Llama King, we had just last week, I remember, and Llama King's just going up. 571. There it is. Well done. Okay, Llama King. Let's see. Clubs. Llama King, join a club for me. Come on now. So they couldn't have done that much work because it was just just 1 week. So they did a little bit of tactics, and it was already enough for full crushing of going up. And that's what I remember. Llama King has yet to put in any games. The good news is, I think, Llama King is just starting out. Clearly has a little bit of natural talent, so they're just cruising. They're just cruising, and at some point it's going to get a little harder, and that's when Llama King's going to have to dial it in more. Look at their games, probably a little bit more work. But for now, it's just a fun joyride, which is fun, okay? All right. But chess sucks. Wow, it can't be that much. So double graduating from switching to Lichess conversion? Question mark. Let's take a look. So 525 will follow. Okay. So they converted to Lichess and their rating is 525. Okay. Taylor Joy Inspired Gamer. All right. And now let's go clubs. No clubs? Give me some clubs. Activity will go down. It looks like they went up 2 cohorts. They did 20 hours of work, a lot of games and analysis. Okay, so we expect to find a game here. But chess sucks. Oh, let's have a new name. All right, let's go into here. Actually, Kraai, don't forget to mark it as reviewed. You always forget that, buddy. So, castles. Fine. Fine. Poor move. So, one of the things I say every time is your opponents are going to make moves that lose time. What would be the conceivable moves for black that make sense here? Boom, boom, boom. All these moves make sense. Maybe even that move's kind of weird, but it would at least make some certain amount of sense. Bringing your people out, right? So they're going to do weird things. And a lot of the times, right, one of the things that you're doing with those arrows is you're showing the psychological drama that this knight is putting on you. And thankfully, you're just like, I don't care. You can hang out there. The knight needs to be in the center as well. It's not just that it's losing time on the side of the board. When they lose time, we crack it open. Yes, sir. Here we go. That's just what we want to do. D4, of course. Okay. We kick him. He goes back, and now we win a pawn. Great. So what has happened? We have taken advantage of black's loss of time. Beautiful. You will have many games like this. And we've converted it now to material advantage. Knight d7, and now you kind of do something, very weird, and you play knight d5. Let's say the basics. The easy move to play here is just to take the pawn, and when you do so, you should say thank you. It's rude. It's rude not to say thank you when you take a pawn like this. Maybe even explain why you didn't like it. What I want to stress is here, it's not just that you're up a pawn, but you're still retaining your development advantage. You know, you still got it. One basic question, for example, could be, could we play that move? Intuition says yes. You know, let's say they take it, and I make tacos, and I make tacos, and I talk. It looks to me like they're going to lose a coconut, right? And e5 would just be a simple move to push him around a little bit, you know, make him pay for their crimes. All right, so knight d5. I want to stress, you're not winning the material, which at this stage of your life should be number one, to take their toys, okay? Also, you're moving a developed piece twice, and it's a little bit vague what you're searching for. Castles. What should black do? They should take the pawn. Good. Okay. Good. Spicy. Nice. Double check. Nice. King h8. And now you get real fancy with knight takes h7. Pretty good. I can't complain. You say thank you for the rook. You say let's pin the knight. You say let's trade it off. Yeah, you could wait on this, but I understand. Good move. I really like that move. You know, total control in the center. One more advanced concept that I learned much later in life was as the pieces get traded off, the more and more the queen wants to go to the center, where she's very powerful. Of course, at the beginning of the game, generally we don't want her there. Doesn't make sense. Thank you. Now, great, you're just trading them off. When you're up, especially at this level, it's great to just be like, bows, I'm going to trade it all off. I would prefer rook ad1, but I understand. Now you're getting frisky on me. So what you should say is, right, I missed it. And you did. But notice it's already the wrong intention here. Okay. By the way, you are using, I haven't looked yet at the time, but you are doing much better than your opponent with the time. One of the things I'm really hoping for is I see a lot more graphs like this. And what does this mean? It means your opponent is not thinking, but you did. And what does that mean? It means they are playing worse chess, because worse chess than they would be capable of, right? Because they are not using their time. More time spent, the better the moves are going to be, right? But you're not able to use time if you're distracted on the computer, if you're nervous, if you can't just sit back and relax. So that's a skill, and I'm hoping the dojoers get this kind of graph, or ones that look a little bit like it, right? Okay, so this is a blunder on our part. We're still doing good, though. He's a pawn grabber. Bam, good move. Very nice move. I'm very impressed, actually. So what we're going to see here is that your king is better defended than the black king, and it's the end of the world in this situation. The black queen, by the way, I think it is probably toast here, but I think they need to come back, because now the lady's in. She's really angry, too. So this, we should be able to set up a mate, and you do. Very nice. Check. We're getting out of here. Mate. Very nice. Very nice. Very well done. Okay. So that was, but chess sucks. But chess sucks. You're doing well. It ain't that bad when you play rook h6. Okay, really well done. And now we have Michael Chesley, who has also graduated loads of times. Up to already ready to graduate again, honestly. Look at that. Yep, just flying up there. I don't understand the graph. Something's weird with the graph, because it starts at April 22nd. So it doesn't make any sense. Actually, maybe they just joined the dojo. I think that's actually what happened. They joined the dojo and then kind of worked themselves up to where they actually are. Clubs, no. Activity, just a touch. So yeah, you can see what they did. They kind of did a little bit in each cohort. They joined and did a little bit in each. Okay, kind of weird, but I think they're going to figure it out from this point out. Probably no games, but we're getting a lot of tactics. Let's see. So no games. So Michael, welcome to the dojo. This is looking pretty good. You're doing some stuff. Okay. Next up, we have Jorge. This feels like cheating because I started the program when my rating was so close to the graduation line. I like that the training program is very structured, but also very flexible. I can choose what I want to focus on, what motivates me, and what format is most convenient for me in the moment. Fantastic. Okay. Look at that graph, Jorge. That's looking good, buddy. That's looking good. Yep. Okay, yeah, and as you can see, they just needed it. It looks like a huge jump, but it's really going from 840 to 873 ChessCom. So he got over the line. It's fine. Sometimes at 20 some points, it can be pretty hard. Okay, clubs. SF Bay Area. Okay. That's where the dojo in some ways has its spiritual heart. Yeah. Activity. We're going to go back one. Got some reasonable work. Let's see if we got a game. This is Jorge playing white. We'll mark it as a review. Do we have times? No times. That's okay. So, I'm going to go over here. There's ChessCom on the iPhone. Online game. Okay. Usually as an online game, you can import the times when you bring him in. It's kind of a nice thing to do. For yourself and also for us. GM move so far. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. So let me just say, so far we're really playing old-time GM moves. A little bit surprising at this level. Maybe, you could play this, you could get this without having known that it was GM moves. You're just developing. Boom, boom, and then this move is weird. Knight c6. Possible maybe, but it's weird because the knight doesn't have any clear future on c6. Okay, not so bad though. Queen b3. This move feels inaccurate to me because the knight, I believe, wants at some point later to whack us with knight a5 and maybe touch our coconuts. That's really a coconut, but that's square on c4 at some point. Okay, this feels like well, I was going to say it's an empty threat, but you're threatening two things. So, bishop h7, definitely stronger. Nice that you saw it in the notes. So what we have to say then is that queen e6 is a mistake. It's also a mistake strategically because it's blocking the bishop, right? So something like this would make a lot of sense. Okay, so boom, you did see this trick. And then now you came in. Boom. All right, I have questions. So, are we going to lose our coconuts after rook d8? And I want to say I'm not sure. Because notice, we can go, this is going to get kind of hairy. So bishop h7. If king f8, we can go queen c5. If king h8, gosh, even king h8's a little complicated. See, because when we snip, they snip, snip, and snip, and then, oh gosh, see, that's the kind of thing where you can learn some tactics. I'm not even sure. I think rook d8 is like, oh my God, I need to figure it out. I don't know. Rook d8, Kraai, it's a terrible move. He just takes on f7. What's wrong with you, you chump? See, I make mistakes too, but you can see what I'm nervous about. I'm nervous that my coconuts are going to fall off the board. Now, the basic move for us here is definitely just to take that Bishovsky, Yeah. You write knight e6, fe, queen b5. Maybe this is a way out. Okay. Yeah, the f rook isn't doing anything for him right now, but I understand why you're nervous about it. We should be even more nervous, though, that our coconuts are hanging all over the place. Queen b5. And now black plays bishop d7. Like this move would scare me. I'm just nervous. Queen b7, queen g5, queen c6, bishop d5. I don't know. I'm a little nervous. That's why I just want to simplify things with that knight takes e6 move. Bishop b7, loss of time. h4. At this point, you can go ahead and play bishop h7 and then play h4 too. Oh my gosh. Loss of time. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, yeah, it's a yard sale now. Now you went for the gold. My bishop moves away for free. Now, it is kind of a spicy decision because now your king can't castle, but I think you're doing great. And then knight f7, definitely. Yeah. This would be cool, too, to find it without the engine, after the game. But, to tell you the truth, I mean, taking the knight, it's hard to say no. Oh, that's a spicy move. All right, g5. Holy moly. King d2. And I'll tell you guys what, gh ain't it. That ain't it. Bam! And now he's crispy critters. Okay. That was a good game. We're seeing good games. Look at this. We're in a pretty kind of what we think of as a low cohort, 600, 700. But first of all, we had GM level play up till this point from both sides. I don't know if they thought it was theory or they were just making principled moves. But, that all went down. And then we have some tactical mistakes, but really pretty strong. And then you see here, these are well annotated. Giving away of time. Bishop b7, a6, knight a5. Yep. So that was really good. So now we're going to go to Olivier. He says, I still have to work on my concentration skills and playing much slower in long time controls. Deeper thinking is the main objective. Good. One of the things we'll see at these graduation shows all the time is, especially when people are playing online games, they're so freaked out and nervous. And there's little bells and whistles coming at them, that it's hard to focus. And so you see it in that time graph a lot of the times. So cool that Jack built us that time graph that people aren't thinking. And just with the time graph, you can just visualize and be like, oh my God, it's like you're playing the quality of a blitz game in some of these longer games. So let's take a look at how Olivier's doing over here. Okay. Oh, I'm going to read it. I started playing chess at a young age, even played some competitive chess between 12 and 14, but never won against the adults. They were often highly rated and 50 plus. Rejoined a local chess club 2 years before COVID, but that halted because of the epidemic, a new job, renovation, 2 daughters. I consider myself close in age to my kids. I consider myself a lover of the game of chess, but not that good at it. Need a better understanding of controlling the center and forming a plan. I don't like studying openings, and that's one of the reasons for that. Okay. You don't need to know anything about openings for controlling the center and forming a plan. In Blitz, I'm still hanging pieces. It's better in classical or rapid, but slowing down is also a topic for me. I also like chess history. I like to read move-by-move books of old masters. I just want to be an adult improver and find joy in the game of chess again, if possible, for the next decades. Also be great to be more competitive against the club players. Okay, that's pretty good. Speaking of clubs, boom, European, adult, Belgian. Nice, dude. Okay, I should go check my little, I sometimes have a little chat thing that lets me monitor both YouTube and Twitch. Today it's not working, so I'm going back and forth a little bit. But thankfully, they're not saying anything on the YouTube at the moment. Okay, I'm dying. It's really wild with our YouTube, actually, because we just started doing the live stream to YouTube. Otherwise, we were just doing YouTube videos. And like now, nothing's going on with the YouTube. Like nobody's watching. But like when we were doing the candidates, somehow the YouTube algorithm just shot us people. Shot us. And so it was like, boom, we got all these people watching us when we were doing that show. It was a great show to do, man. It was really fun to cover those games. Okay, it was a beautiful tournament too. So that was clubs. We're going to go activity. We're going to back it up one. And that's what they did. 26 hours. We got some tactics, mostly some games. Looking strong. Let's see tactics. Looking good. Okay. Yeah. And I think we're going to see some games here. And I'm hoping we get a time graph to see what we're talking about with the time. Now, to the left, you can see some people have made some comments. Beautiful. And let's see if we get a time graph. Okay. Now, I just want to say, Olivier, that looks pretty good for a time graph. We'll just check. This is a game in 30 here, right? So to me, it looks like pretty good time usage, just superficially. We'll bring this back. All right. So, right, they're a little bit higher rated. Fine. Fine. Usually we don't call this the Ruy Lopez, 4 knights or something, but you're doing great. Bishop c5. Castles. Fine. Knight d4. Let's read what you write. This was an odd movement from my opponent. He's moving his knight twice in the opening. Didn't really see why he did this. And you write knight d4. I have no doubt I take the piece and this dangerous black knight in the center. Okay. So, something I want you to see about this is that he could have reclaimed a tempo by taking back with the pawn. Okay, then your knight has to move. So imagine it this way. At this point of the game, you are up one tempo because neither side has blown any of their time. You begin the game up a tempo. Now you're up two tempi. And so now it's time to start thinking about punishment. First question should be, well, what happens if you take this coconut? It might be kind of challenging for black, honestly, because let's say they snip and snop and rip. Well, I don't know exactly what's happening, but after queen e2, I'm a little nervous for black, I got that little state of nervousness in me. And this could be a thing to analyze. Okay, so they keep you up a full tempo, and now you lose time. You lose time. And you write about d3. Correct. And what I think you were concerned about, too, is like them doubling the pawns. Not a concern. That's far more important is you not losing time. Castles. c3. Yeah, something like knight d4. They go back. And now, by the way, this is a poor move, bishop c5, because it lets you smack them with tempo. Boom. You get their big center pawn. And now you start pushing their knight around. How bad can it be? Knight e4. And you say, I don't like this knight in the center. Controls way too many squares. However, let me just say, that knight is encroaching into territory I'm not sure it belongs in. More natural to me was knight d5. The potential grief there, too. So knight e4, very frisky. The knight might not come out. And you play bishop b3. Okay. So let's say that the good news for black is somehow they are not losing their knight here. They get an escape route, right? Kind of surprising. We also have this option. That's kind of nice, too. And just to roll him, just to start this roller. Notice when we play f4, it's kind of scary because of this, but the idea is to activate our rook. Now, it is true that in this move, you're playing super fast, super fast. Bishop d3 in and of itself, though, is not a bad move. And I love that you gave the guy 2 exclams from here because it is absolutely important for them not to lose time here. So, chasing the knight away by Axel Flovant. I don't know what that means, dude. Do I need to Google that? Do I need to go over that, buddy? Okay, so the question I have, though, about d5 is what would go down on queen c2? My gut is he's got to play f5. And then maybe it goes like this, But we still continue our lead in development and threaten the h7 pawn again. So f3, and this is a weird move. And now after knight g5, you say, I could exchange my bishop for this knight, but I have a space advantage on the king side, and I'm controlling 2 fine diagonals with my bishops. I also prepare the play with the bishop pair and don't think I'm pretty good with the knights. Nevertheless, if I choose to keep the bishop pair, an open game is interesting. Okay. So, personally, I like f4. I think queen e1, I think it's misguided. Because I think you're dreaming about this move. And then we're going to get whacked by the discovered. Nope, I was right. Okay, so blunder, your opponent misses it too. Knight takes f3. It's funny. I read your mind. Olivier. I've been around a while. I can read minds. h6, snip. Right. So things have kind of fallen apart for us here, and now black is going to be fine. Whoa! Whoa! No, boss. You gotta take. You gotta recapture. So wild to me that black could play a move with the quality of d5, but then here plays queen e8. And how long do they think on this move? Nothing. They're just like, oh, I lost a piece. I lost a piece. Screw it. I don't need it. Interesting, right? So, and now you say, I don't. Boom! I'm angry now. You've made me mad. And let me stress that this probably is winning, but the way to make it to the next level, right, to the over 1,000 cohort, is when you steal a piece, you don't need to do anything, you know? You don't need to be fancy anymore. Just go back, and then we'll start rolling them up. We got an extra piece. We got it all. Oh, we got everything we ever dreamed of. Anyways, definitely you're right that gh6 is what they should try. Bishop d8. Poor move again. Bishop d5, thank you very much. f5. I don't know, hardly, it kind of seems like their only move. En passant, nice. Bishop f6, you give that a double exclam. Now, it's weird to say that they're calculating brilliantly. I mean, this is a person who gave you a free piece. I don't know if they're calculating anything. Okay. By the way, bishop f6, here's a point where we need to calculate some ourselves. We need to say, check to the miserable king, and check to the miserable king, and it's Kavutskiy. So no, they did not calculate it brilliantly. By the way, I very much commend you for not having turned on the engine here. You're thinking for yourself. That's great. So here we go. Check to the miserable. And suddenly, it's a little spicy. I like this move a lot. Very nice. Queen h7. And now you exchange pieces. That is the sober thing that I wanted you to do for a while. Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. Yeah, check to the bishop. Give me that thing. Give me that thing. A little weird. The easy play here is just to solidify that bad boy. And he's just a beast. Look at that. Look at that. By the way, something took me a while to understand. Like, the bishop in the middle. Oh, dude. 13 squares. You know, and a rook at the most is controlling 14. So it's just like, oh, incredible. All right, now they got a little bit of play. Yeah. It's suddenly a little spicy. Uh-oh. Well, you know, I want to just say I kind of missed it too. I just trusted you. Your opponent trusted you too. He could have taken on a5. So one of the things, you know, we're writing this book, How to Analyze Your Game. It's taking forever to come up. And you know, the thing that I really stress in this is the journey from 0 to 1,000 is all about these moments. This is where these games are being decided. Oh. Now, what is black doing? Should be taking this pawn. Thank you. Thank you. You might live through this. a5. Now, by the way, we have ourselves a very interesting endgame. f4. Now, I think you need to very quickly find a way to get counterplay against this guy because it's getting very frightening. Because you are in a little bit of trouble. Why? Because this rook is passive, despite the fact that you're up a pawn. Because if they can win this coconut, then I'm worried. So, for example, a sample line could go rook d5. I'm trying to come here. Rook here, rook here. Yeah, and then I think we live. And notice the key trick is, bam, I live. I'm not going to die, you know? So f4, if they can win this coconut, then these two guys are going to run. Poor, Oh, that's a poor move too. They got to push past. They got to go back. So here, they're letting us trade off. Thank you. They didn't win our coconut. Okay, that makes me real nervous. That makes me real nervous. Because now what you've done is you've extended the scope of this rook. And so black should immediately go here, and I'm concerned for our well-being. You know, I'm just concerned. Things can go down now. Things will go down. Okay. You might live. Okay, they're not actually doing anything. Let's see what happens. King G1. Now I'm already thinking about repeating the same pattern. Trying to get a draw. Remise in French, remis in German. Let's be active though. Boom, F5. I don't understand. Losing a pawn. Now I'm nervous. We just hung our coconuts. Ah! Why didn't we take? We got to take this pawn and then take this one. Oh no. Wow, what a game. Who knows what's going to happen? The excitement is real. And here's a great example. Right in this position, there's a great example of a great rule of thumb. Both sides want to get behind the pass pawn. So this is an impulsive move. We should immediately play this, and we have chances to draw this bad boy. Before King G4, and now black should play Rook B6. Well, and then say welcome to the dojo when you do it. Bam! Oh no! And now we're just messing around. There it is. So it still goes on though. Look at that. Okay. Good game, guys. Good game. I thought that was a good annotation. Yeah. One thing, actually I made a video a while back, maybe a month or so ago, about trusting our opponent. So like, for example, a lot of times you did a thing where you're like, oh, my opponent, he's just calculated geniusly here. And so you trusted him that they were a genius. They weren't a genius. Yeah, maybe because they were higher rated, you're like, oh, this person's a genius. He's doing some real good calculating. No, this person was hanging pieces all over the place. It was a yard sale, right? So here we go. Let's do the next one. This is Cat Buddha. Let's check Cat Buddha out. All right. After you have practiced for a while, you will realize it is not possible to make rapid, extraordinary progress. Even though you try very hard, the progress you make is always little by little. It is not going out in a shower in which you know when you get wet. In a fog, you do not know you are getting wet. But as you keep walking, you get wet little by little. If your mind has progressive ideas, you may say, oh, this space is terrible. But actually it is not. It is like studying a foreign language. Okay, cool. So 913, making some good progress. Okay, joined in March. So like a month ago, gained 100 points. Looking good. Clubs, down under. I love the people down under. We got some activity. And we'll see what they did. 56 hours, nice work. Yeah, that looks great. That looks really good. Let's see if we got a game. Cat Buddha's got 4 games for us. This one, very recent. Okay. Just play from principles. Good. Now, is that a principled move? No. What would the principled moves be? Here, here, here. Maybe E6. E6. Okay. Now they should definitely be pushing you around a little bit. Good. I like that you blocked that. Good. Okay. Now you are in a French where you've lost the tempo. Why was your loss of tempo? This move, right? So when we say principled moves, you're doing fine, except the C6 move was the one that kind of cost you time. Queen D2. A little weird. I think they should take h6. Well, okay. Let's just leave it, Kraai. Leave it. Takes. h4. He wants to storm you. b6. Okay, let's let it be. You want to get your bishop out. Good move. He's storming you now. You snip. You're bringing your people out. h5. Now b5. Let's read what you write. Was still unsure whose attack will be faster, but decided I can see how the attacks compare. Thought I could also trade my queens if h-pawn seems stronger than black's attack. I don't quite understand what that means. And now you play b5. Unsure what was best. Critical position, maybe. Thought I might get cramped, and black had a potentially strong attack after developing his rooks, but also that I might be able to just defend and black's attack run out. I see. Okay. Actually, for whatever reason, I thought you were black. So I take back my criticism was more about your opponent. Let's look at it from white's point of view, Kraai. Can't you get even the name, the who's who, right? So, yeah, this fine. GM level move so far. And I would have taken on e7, but this is not bad. They give you another tempo. You say thank you very much. And now you go for this. It's frisky. It's actually, I would say, kind of advanced, but it's not bad. But when we do it, we need to understand that you're playing for space, but also, I think, when you play this move, you're playing for this business. And essentially trying to develop our rook. Okay. This one, I don't know. I liked h5 or rook h3. You write that. And that's weird to me. Maybe they could do that. To me, black should say, hey, boss, let's castle and put our king there, and maybe we won't die. I don't understand this move. Was trying to position the queen for both attack and defense, but this did feel passive. The moves that fit best with the attack were still the obvious rook f g1 and g5. Good. But I was unable to make a clear judgment about black's attacking chances. Okay. Now, yeah, so let's say the obvious. Black is kind of sort of looking like they might attack you. And their key idea is going to be knight b6, c4. If we were going to move the queen, we should at least move a queen so that it doesn't get smacked when the knight lands there. So queen e3 was not only a loss of tempo, but setting you up to lose time again. An interesting variation could be here, 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 here. And we do need to be ultra careful because it is kind of scary. However, in general, I think I believe in you, but it goes on, see? And here we're saying, hey, I think we can hold this together, and black is the one who needs to be afraid. But you can see it's an attack on opposite wings game. And the thing to really see about this is that time is going to be so important, right? Time is going to be super important in this position. Okay, so, and what does that mean? That this was a loss of time. Does he find knight b6? No, knight b6 was very important. g5, okay. Ooh. We in general don't want to trade queens because we want to mate the guy. All right, so now we get an endgame. Felt equal to me. By the way, I really encourage people to write in their evaluations, right? So maybe it is. And that's just good practice to be like, okay, now I think it's equal. f6 may be a good move from black. Now maybe black might consider being better. Castles. Doesn't look right to me. Maybe not bad. But it's not clear that the king now needs to go away, given that the pieces have now been exchanged. The king can now be a fighting piece. This square seems most logical, where we'll be in contact with this pawn if it tries to run. Okay. Snip. Snap. I would push that h-pawn. Push him, baby. But what I like about knight e2 is that you're bringing this piece that wasn't doing anything back into the game. Good. Oh man, it's getting spicy now. H6, nice move. Very nice. Black needed to do something about that before it happened. And you promote. Oh, that was very nice. And in the end, you set up a nice tactic with this move, knight h4. And actually, one of the things we can see about it is the problem of the black king going so far away from this pawn. It's like the black king was like, oh, now I'll come back. You know, he needed to come back, buddy. That's a nice one right there. Obviously, black could have done other things to stop that. Okay, so look at that. What's going on with this time graph? Notice, your opponent, this was a, what is that, a 45 plus 45? They're not thinking at all. They gained time. They ended up with more time than they started with. So this is what we want to see in the dojo, us crushing these fools. These fools might be geniuses, but we can still win because they're not thinking. Thank you very much. If anything, we could say that Cat Buddha could have even took more time. So that was really good. Hi, Pepper Chess. Okay. So next up, we have, oh, that's the end. That's the end of the show, my friend.